Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the Mexican Grand Prix, round number 18 of the season, and two more races to go, I believe. And we've got Brazil and Abu Dhabi after this, but we've got to get through this race weekend first. And Mexico, a bit of an interesting one for me because I've gone okay in the past here, and I've had my good races, but generally I've struggled more than I felt comfortable, if that makes sense. So I'm going to this one with a bit of a mixed bag of emotions, and practice pretty much represented that, to be fair, because we really sort of had a topsy-turvy one. We got some purple and green scores overall, but before we jump into the video, guys, if you're new around here or an active subscriber by chance, I do urge you to go click on the notifications bell and actually select the option for all, and that way you don't miss out on any of my content, because basically there was a lot of drama going around, and essentially YouTube doesn't actually notify the subscribers of you guys of videos that go up from your favorite creators, including possibly myself. So I do urge you to go click notifications and get yourself up to date on the latest uploads and get the notification squad growing by the day. But jumping into Saturday qualifying here at Mexico and resuming back onto the video, it was full wet conditions for Saturday qualifying, and I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't too badly surprised in terms of I didn't take a massive shock from the weather. I knew I'd be struggling a little bit, and I was actually quite competitive. It's similar to Japan. We was quite on the money, to be fair, and the car felt pretty good. I felt like if I wrestled it in the right way, I could definitely get something out of this. So that sort of gave me a little bit of optimism from maybe a pretty positive qualifying and possibly a Q3 appearance. But we got, as you can see, a big slap of oversteer at the end of Q2 there, but we managed to get through in P8 into Q3, which was quite impressive, and we just narrowly missed out to Felipe Massa there, and also Hamilton just gets through in P9. But going to Q3, we're going to ride on board now for a full lap of the Mexico circuit, and we're going to see how this one pans out. So straight away for turn 1, you want to brake pretty much about the 100-meter board, pretty hard brake zone. You want to make sure you don't lock up, otherwise you're going to ruin your lap entirely, and you really want to try and navigate this sort of 1, 2, 3 turn section here. And I'm really resting the car on the back end there. Wasn't the cleanest of runs through there by any means, but braking hard at the 150 now for turn number 4, down to third gear, and I missed my apex a little bit, and the back end comes around very scruffy so far for this lap. As the lap times begin to tumble, we tap that curb on the exit of 5, which isn't good either, and then through 6, the back end just really sort of skidding through there, but we managed to get a pretty good sweet line through that double apex right hand as we now go into the twisty bit in the middle of sector 2 here, and this is where you can make or break your lap. And I really try to throw the car in here and wrestle it against the curbs and try my best, but it wasn't my best run through there. My Q2 lap definitely felt better, but we're going to just go for this one run because obviously I want to leave it late because the conditions were improving slightly. And as you can see through the second sector, really throwing the car in there now into that corner, and now into the baseball stadium, through the hairpin, into the little right hand kink, just making sure we keep the car facing in the right direction. And then finally the last corner here, really trying to keep it tight, avoid the curve on the left hand side completely, and now it's squirting on the power as we run it up to the line. And the question is, where has that lap put us in the grand scheme of things? And it's going to be P9, so not too bad. I'm disappointed it could have been a little bit better, I think, the lap, if we'd been a little bit more cleaner, especially on throttle application and general corner entries. We definitely could have, I think, at least got in a P6 or P7, maybe even P5 if I'd got a really good lap together. But overall, the top 4 are pretty untouchable. But overall, that is going to be it for Saturday qualifying here at Mexico, and we're going to move into Saturday tomorrow for the race for round number 18 for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, so here we are then for the race for the Mexican Grand Prix. P number 8 on the grid, getting promoted one position after qualifying yesterday, as my teammate Felipe Massa took a 5-place grid drop for engine components, and that's going to help us out massively. So hopefully we could try and make a big race, or a good race out of it here today. We've got some very mixed conditions with wet transitioning over into dry, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Strategy is going to play a massive part, but overall, if the race was to remain in these wet conditions, I think I could do pretty well. I felt confident with the car yesterday, and I definitely don't feel like P9 was where I should have qualified, because I made a few mistakes on my lap, and I probably should have gone for a second attempt, but I really wanted to run the low fuel and be aggressive, and it sort of backfired on me. But I'm looking forward to it. In terms of the strategy, like I mentioned, if we look at the screen right now, you can see that we have rain for the first part of the race, and then it's going to slowly transition into eventually sunny conditions right at the end of the Grand Prix. So I reckon we should be on this intermediate, and then the next tyre we do go on will be a dry tyre. But hopefully we can make this one work for us and try and be nice and competitive and aggressive with it, because obviously after the last race, we're looking pretty good. So also we don't have to take any unnecessary risks because we have a 15-point cushion. So with that in mind, we're just going to sort of take it very gingerly, whilst also trying to make up a few places. And fingers crossed, I'd like to finish in the top 5 this race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race. Round number 17, round number 18 for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We're going to get ready to the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go in Mexico, and it's a pretty shaky start. It's not terrible for traction, but not a lot of drive. We're going to bump it up to rich mix really early here because it's such a big straight. I want to try and counteract some of the time we've lost at the start of the race here. Back down the standard, braking late into the first corner here. Going to try and be risky with it. Up the inside of the Renault, very, very close. Nico Hulkenberg down my left-hand side. We're going to go the long way around into turn 2, taking the inside for turn 3, and we're up at the 7th place, so it's a good start. We've recovered from our poor getaway, being very aggressive into turns 1, 2, 3, and now we've got cars in front of us here. We're braking very early, so we might have an opportunity of just sort of sussing out an overtake here as we got the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Tank stopper on the exit of turn 4 there, but we've made it work and converted it into an overtake, running deep into the hairpin on purpose to try and sort of squeeze out Ricciardo, and we're up into P6. So great start from us so far here, and very, very encouraging after the poor getaway. But now let's see if we have any pace in these conditions. I think we should be okay, but I might be wrong. Vettel fastest lap, Raikkonen even faster than Sebastian, so both of the Ferraris setting the pace at the minute, and we're catching up to Ocon and both of the Mercedes here. So I could argue right now we definitely have pace to be 3rd place, but the Ferraris 1 and 2, they're definitely doing the damage here, and they're trying to make a statement. If they keep on at this pace, then they're going to be running away with it at the front. So we need to respond here and get a move on. I mean, it's not panic stations just yet, it's a long race, but if they get a big distance in this intermediate stint, then they're going to be pretty comfortable in the dry. So I need to start making the moves here. So let's see if we get past Ocon. I feel confident in the braking, and I think I'm going to have a little sniff on the brakes here on the Frenchman. I feel pretty good with the car, and there we go. We've made the move quite comfortably, and the car at the minute feels very good in these wet conditions, which is not something I've said all season. Recently, in the last couple of wet races, even Japan I think springs to mind, the car's been very good in the wet. It seems like I've finally got on top of how to work this car in these wet conditions, but it's taken me a season and a half to really get to grips. But this is when it matters because we're going for the championship. So let's see if we can try and get past these Mercedes. Personal best 29.3, and pace is good at the minute. We're now catching the Mercedes and pulling away from Ocon a little bit. I might try and go for a move on Bottas this lap, not into turn 1, but it could be in the same place I overtook Esteban Ocon, because I do tend to gain here. Sebastian Vettel is in the lead now, and he's starting to really pull away and dictate the pace of this race. Raikkonen can't really keep up here, so this is going to be interesting. And we've got a VSC. Annoying, because I was going to try and line up Valtteri for an overtake there, but frustrating. We've got a VSC. I can see in the middle sector someone's got, I think it's maybe like a puncher or something. Someone's going very slowly either way. A big shame, because I was going to try and pass Valtteri there, but still, the time will come. Okay, Valtteri Bottas comes in, so that's a very early stop. Also, Massa was the person who had a puncture, so very, very unfortunate for my teammate there, but once again, his luck bites the dust. And also, we've been offered a strategy change, so let's have a look. It's basically staying in the intermediate, so we're going to stay on these for a bit longer here. It's getting towards the dry conditions, so let's see how this one pans out. Hamilton now apparently has a car problem, so that should be a pretty simple overtake for me. I'm in rich mix here, I think. Yes, I am. So we're going to be pushing. Look at the speed difference we have on Lewis. We're just going to pull to the outside, and it's going to be a very easy move on the Brit around the outside there. And we're up into 3rd place now. So making the moves. Who knows, if a Ferrari pits this lap, we could be in the money. I'm staying out until the dry conditions arrive because the rain is almost about to stop. So let's see how this pans out. I've got another strategy change. Let's have a look. Right, dry tyres, that seems a little bit more suitable for the conditions. So Valtteri looks like might have just, committed suicide. Also Massa as well, but he's already a lap down. Either way, it looks like dry tyres are inbound this lap. Right, here we go into the pit lane. DRS enabled, so that's normally the telltale sign. And the question is, are Ferrari stacking? No, they're not. They're bringing only Raikkonen in. So Vettel stays out, and that could be really, really pivotal for the championship. Obviously, it makes more sense for Vettel to stay out than for him to come in, but that could be decisive in the championship. That could be valuable points coming into the season. It looks like we've actually come out ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. No, we haven't. Okay, I thought for a second there we come out ahead, but Raikkonen just managed to get in front of us. I think he sort of glitched through us. But we are right on the back of Kimi Raikkonen, who's gone for the ultra softs. I've gone for the hardest compound available, which is a soft compound tyre. I want to try and go nice and deep into the race with this tyre and try and do the least amount of pit stops possible. But right now we are behind Kimi Raikkonen, so let's see how this tyre copes. He's going to have loads of grip on that ultra soft, but at the minute that's not what I'm concerned about. At the minute I've got Raikkonen behind me I've got Hamilton behind me as a rear gunner who's got trouble with his car. So really I'm looking to get at least like lap 20 or 22 or 23 of this tyre, and then try and get the super soft on the car and drive that tyre to the end. So let's see how this all pans out. Kimi is stuck behind Carlos Sainz here, so he might have a chance of making the move. Just struggling to get past the Spaniard. I'm trying to just sort of warm my tyres up, taking some very wide lines. But Raikkonen now right on the back of Carlos Sainz. We're going to get a massive run on the Iceman. We're going to pull to the inside. Can we make the move on the brakes? It's going to be close. We're going to keep our nose in though, commit to the overtake. Side by side with Kimi. Can we get past him? Yes, we do. And we've made the move work. And technically, you could say we're in the net race lead here. So let's try and make this one work. We've got Sainz who's going to go very slow to the final corner and presumably going to come into the pit lane. But I'm going to overtake him anyway. And now get the power on. And here we go. Where is Sebastian Vettel? That's the question. Because me and Raikkonen had traffic. And look at that. Vettel has stayed in the lead by quite a margin. So Sebastian Vettel staying out has made it work beautifully for him. Me and Kimi got stuck in the traffic. So Vettel remains in the race lead as I get it way too hot into turn one, and the grip's still not there yet. Either way, we're in second place. If we can just stay here for the rest of the race, I'd be very happy. But realistically, I want to try and compete with Sebastian. But I've got a feeling Sebastian might be on the opposite strategy of me, so he'll be running the softs later on. Fastest lap, even faster than Kimi Raikkonen. I was planning on letting Raikkonen through because he's on the ultra soft, so he could potentially go after Sebastian. But right now, Raikkonen doesn't even have the pace. So we've got to try and catch Sebastian ourselves. Sebastian setting the pace 21.7, we do a 22.3, so 0.6 of drift to say we're on a harder tyre. That's not too bad, but Vettel's pace is strong, I've got to say, it's very strong. Right, here comes Kimi Raikkonen, he's in my DRS, he's going to maybe go for the move into turn one here. Does he go for it? No, he doesn't, he sort of hangs back for now, so Raikkonen not coming into an overtake, but he's starting to find some pace now in that ultra soft running Ferrari, so Raikkonen's a threat now. He might actually go for the move here, to be fair. I'm going to stick to the inside, but Raikkonen's going to look for it on the outside line. He's just got a lot more grip on that ultra soft. I can't really match him. The confidence isn't really there yet with the track surface. I'm going to try and switch back underneath, but can I go for it? Not really. Right, Raikkonen's just got a lot of grip on that tyre. Right now I'm at a disadvantage because I'm on a pretty hard compound, so realistically I don't want. I'm hoping Kimi can sort of chase after Sebastian with that tyre, because that way if they have a little bit of a battle, that will allow me to sort of not lose too much contact with those guys. But right now I think we can keep Ricciardo behind, especially thanks to our straight line speed. So I think P3 could be the best we could do at the minute, unless something happens with the top two. There we go, Raikkonen fastest lap. He's finding some pace, which is good. Let's hope he can try and catch Sebastian here. I'll do a personal best. I've switched my brake bias forward now from 56 to 60 and a lot more towards the front, and I've got a lot more confidence now under braking. That's why I improved my lap time so much on that last lap. So it looks like now I feel pretty confident on these tyres and I can keep Ricciardo behind. So now let's try and basically make these last as long as I can to commit to the basically inverted commas one-stop strategy. Raikkonen really on a mission now. 17.1. He's in hot pursuit of Sebastian Vettel, which is good news for me. Right now the Ferraris are absolutely untouchable. The consistency of my lap times is good. That's 2 laps in a row where I've lapped within 0.1 of my personal best. So the lap times are good, tyres are holding on, and I've got about 5 more laps to go on these, but Ferrari just looks so quick around here. Right, Kimi Raikkonen in the pits. He's coming off of those ultras and going on to the soft. So Raikkonen going a little bit more conservative than I think his teammate might, but then again Vettel might easily gone to softs and he might come in this lap now. So interesting to see how this one pans out. Right, there's Vettel exiting the pit lane on another set of super softs. Ricciardo has come in, so very surprising strategy. Vettel obviously making his tyres last, and he's confident taking a pair of super softs to the end. So we need to do at least one more lap on these to really sort of safely get to the end. But Vettel is definitely looking nailed on to win this race, and Raikkonen is looking also pretty nailed on to get second place. All I could do really is try and hold Vettel up until I come into the next lap and allow Raikkonen the chance to maybe catch up. Right, Sebastian Vettel's going to have DRS now, so he's going to be coming at me really quick. I've got a car exiting the pit lane here, which we might be able to get some slipstream from and try and help defend our position. I think it's a Sauber from what I can see. Pascal Wehrlein and we're just going to take an early apex here, make sure we get the car safely through, and Vettel's going to get stuck right behind the Sauber, which is going to do him absolutely no favours at all, and the Verline doing me a massive favour in holding up Sebastian and also feeding him to Kimi Raikkonen, who is catching up. But right now we are going to come in this lap for super soft compound tyres, so I'm trying to do my best for Kimi, but he's got to do the rest. Right, here we go then into the final corner. Raikkonen has caught up and he's got DRS on Sebastian Vettel here, so that's going to hopefully give the chance of maybe Raikkonen winning this race, who is the outsider, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he can try and make a move on his teammate. Even if they just battle for a little bit, you never know what could happen. But here we go, we've done that bit. We're going to come in for the super softs. I'm probably going to come up behind Ocon, so the race isn't going to be over just yet. We're going to have to do some real good pushing in this final stint. Ocon's going to be ahead of us, and also Ricciardo as well, with that sort of lap time. He's going to be ahead of us, and also the car behind Ricciardo, which is Sergio Perez. So this race could go to a bit of a disaster for us. Verstappen's going to be competition, so we're going to rich mix it straight away out the pit lane here to get up to speed. But right now, we've got to fight to hold on to this podium. So put your seatbelts on. It's going to get fasty in this final stint. Right, personal best 16.4. That's only about half a second off the best pace from Sebastian Vettel, and we're catching up to Ricciardo, who's been passed by Perez. So realistically, if we can get both of these guys, then we should be able to get Ocon, who's on a slower soft compound tyre. So let's see if we can make some moves happen here. This is frustrating because I've run out of rich mix and I can't just get into the DRS window of Ricciardo. However, we are catching Ocon, so my only hope is that both Perez and Ricciardo struggle to get past the other Force India, and that way I can close the gap. Okay, here we go then. I've just managed to get within DRS. Perez is now past Ocon, so he's on his way and pulling away at the minute. So right now, we need to try and overtake Ocon and Ricciardo to keep the points in the bag and really give ourselves the best chance going into Brazil here. So we've got to be aggressive, and the one chance we get, we've got to take it, because if Ricciardo gets past Ocon, then we've had it. So we need to be on the money, and we need to be alert and try and pass him as best as possible. Right, there's a lap Sauber here we've got to be careful with, because it could cause trouble. And Ricciardo gets held up. We've just slipped past Ricciardo. That's exactly what I was looking for. And we've managed to get ahead of the Honey Badger. That's one position. If we can just get ahead of Ocon now, that would be phenomenal for us. I'm hoping we got DRS. I'm not 100% convinced, but I might have just nabbed some. And no, I haven't. So unfortunately, no DRS for us. But now we can have a direct shot at Esteban Ocon. So let's hope we can try and pass the Frenchman. Okay, Ocon has a car problem right in the dying stage of this Grand Prix, which is going to pretty much serve me up a P4 on a plane. Look at the speed difference here. We're going to pull to the right hand side, and we're going to try and get past Ocon, and hopefully he can sort of just hold up Ricciardo and allow me to just break away basically. So there we go, a little bit of a track extend on the overtake, but we've made it work. We're past Ocon into 4th place, and this is probably going to be our finishing position now, so we've got to make sure we hold on to this. Here we go for the baseball section for the final time. Perez has managed to sneak in with the podium, which was not in my plans. I was hoping for 3rd place, but either way, I'll take P4. And Sebastian Vettel wins the Mexican Grand Prix. And my 15-point lead has been cut down to just 2 points with 2 races to go. This is getting really, really close and really tense. Ferrari were just way too quick around here. And even the next track as well, I'm not particularly confident because that is a Ferrari track. And Abu Dhabi also, so at the minute I can't really see a track where I'm going to be on a semi-even playing field, so I'm going to have to try and make something happen, maybe strategy-wise, or some sort of upgrade, but I don't really know what I've got left, and I don't know what I can do from now until the end of the season. But Vettel, there you go, wins the race. He'll be absolutely ecstatic with that one, and overall, that is going to be it for the Mexican Grand Prix, and he's going to be joined on the podium by Kimi Raikkonen, who also had a great race, and Ferrari really bouncing back with a major statement here this race. You can see there, we get 4th place, which is still not too bad, and I'm quite happy with that, but it's going to be a real challenge to hold on to this championship lead in the next 2 races, because both tracks are just going to be so strong for Ferrari. Similar to today, they're just going to have such a big edge when it comes to overall pace, but overall, that is it for the Mexican Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel wins, Raikkonen 2nd, Perez 3rd in his home race. Good result for him there. But we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings, with the only 2 more races to go in the rest of this season. Right, so looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel wins the Mexican Grand Prix ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Sergio Perez runs at the podium from an incredible P15, so he has some incredible pace here today in the Force India. We come home in P4 and Daniel Ricciardo in P5 in the first of the Red Bulls. Esteban Ocon P6 in the second Force India ahead of Max Verstappen in the second Red Bull racing car, ahead of Valtteri Bottas only in P8, a disappointing race for the Mercedes driver. Nico Hulkenberg and Romain Grosjean ran out the points, and Lewis Hamilton misses out on the points completely there on P11, so disappointing race for him there. And also Jolyon Palmer DNFs there with my teammate Felipe Massa rock bottom in last place. Disappointing race there from Felipe. But in terms of the driver standings, as you can see, we actually have a 4-point lead going into the next race in Brazil ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Raikkonen 21 points adrift, and really he needs to win the next race to give himself a sort of a shot in the dark of winning the championship in Abu Dhabi. And in terms of the constructors, you can see that nothing really changes here, and we're about 20 points adrift of Mercedes, and Massa really needs to try and get his act together if we want to have any chance of trying to beat Mercedes in the constructors. But other than that, that's going to be it for this episode, and we're now going to move into the laptop. Okay, so pretty much there is nothing we can buy with the time frame, because basically every upgrade that we have needs 2 weeks to upgrade, and I don't have the points for those, which would mean we have to buy that after Brazil. But after Brazil, we only have 1 week left with the Williams team, so the only minor upgrade I have left is this one here, so we're just going to get it anyway and get that on the car for the next race and improve our fuel consumption a bit, which is also a good thing because it means we can run a little bit less fuel when we need to in the race. But overall, I think the R&D is pretty much done for the Williams car, and we've done a bloody good job of it, and we can't really complain. And I think we're going to be pretty close. We're going to bridge the gap between the big teams and the little teams, as you can see there in the bottom right. And in recent times, everyone's really been pushing hard with the R&D, and everyone's really closed the gap to Ferrari lately, which is very good to see. But overall, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Career Mode, guys. If you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for plenty more F1 content. Also, please be sure to turn on your notifications in case you do miss an upload. Also, other than that, guys, do check out these videos on screen if you have missed them by chance. And other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.